Okay, been a little bit since my last video. This one's going to be a little bit different than some of the ones I've done. This one I am going to share, some stuff that's going on, but more I want to show and speak about what God's revealing to me personally in Revelation. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to share some scripture, a scripture that God's given me recently, and just a little bit of almost like a momentum that God's given me to say, hold on. A few weeks ago, my pastor, been attending a church recently. As silly as it was standing up at the church holding up a screw. We're all sitting like, what? And he tells a story about how he had trouble putting his bed together. And he actually went and tried to get help to do it at a local hardware store because he couldn't get it to do it. And the guy simply said, did you try it the other way? He was so stuck on it had to go one way that he never saw other options. And God just really spoke to me that day about how many times have I done that? Thinking I know the answer or I know the way to do something, so there can't be any other options. But when I take pride out of it and allow other people, or even him, more importantly, we phrase that, him, show me the other options, it usually turns out pretty good. I was going through a really rough spot at that day, actually, and it was really neat because my pastor at the end of church, I walked up to him and just thanked him about something else, and he reached into his pocket and he goes, I was praying that to God who I needed to give this to, and I feel led to hand you this. As I'm holding it up now, this is that screw that he was holding. I've actually been carrying it around for the last few weeks. It's a reminder to me not to get stuck. But see, the thing is with me, what was happening though, is the more I fought not getting stuck, I was getting stuck. I was shutting myself off, I was holding people at arm's length, and I was quickly shutting down again. And last week, I started a Bible study, and it's, what it's on is not really important, but the main thing, there was one scripture that was shared there, and I'm going to read it. I'm reading it out of the New American Standard. It's Joshua 1:5. No man will be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Just as I have been with Moses, I will be with you. I will not fail you or forsake you. See, this kind of goes right along with getting stuck. I get stuck when I don't let people in or God in because of the fear of being hurt, or the fear that somebody's going to let me down, or God's going to let me down. And the thing is, that was scripture was spoken, those words were spoken over Joshua, one of the greatest leaders of Israel. And if he had fear, and he was scared, but look what he conquered. He took the land. He didn't know how to do it. I mean, shoot, Israel had walked around the desert for 40 years. He didn't, and before that they were in Egypt. So did he have any real experience leading a nation? Leading a battle? Leading other soldiers and warriors? No, he didn't. All he had was God telling him he could do it. And that's what God's teaching me today. It's not the qualified doing it. God calls you and calls me, and he will give me the knowledge and the words and the abilities to do what he's calling me to do. Just like today we shared another scripture with me, the parable of the talents. 3 men were given a talent, different amounts. One was given 1, 5, everybody knows the parable. Was any of those 3 any more qualified than the others? No, because the masters trusted them all. One buried it, others used it. And the ones that used it, it wasn't because he was better than anybody else. He just did it. And that's what God's teaching me. Be strong, be courageous. Don't let fear stop you. And very simply, my newest phrase for me is do it afraid. No matter how I feel, no matter what I think, I can do this. and I don't have to do it alone. I just thank God that I'm learning this quickly, that this time it didn't go as long as it has in the past, where I pushed the world away. I'm tired. And the thing is, the person I'm fighting the most is myself. I just pray this touches you as it's been touching me.